Winter is coming! We are reviewing the Game of Thrones edition of Johnnie Walker White Walker. Welcome back to Brolic Whiskey. I'm Metahuman Dave.
And I'm not Mike. I'm Lisett, aka Wonder Woman.
And she is the pretty version of Mike because she is also representing the beginning whiskey drinker. And today we're going to actually be tasting whiskey 4 ways as opposed to our normal 3 ways.
Okay.
The reason being is we have to taste this neat at room temperature, which is why you see me have a cover on this one. I already poured this one before throwing this one into the freezer. So they're playing into the Game of Thrones White Walker part of it, with it being from frozen areas. It's actually the 2 northernmost distilleries that Diageo owns, Cardhu and Clynellish. And as per the directions on the back of the bottle, it actually says to serve it chilled. So we want to taste it our normal way and also how the distiller intended. So we're going to take our covers off. And I'm going to let Lisett start to nose the glass. Okay. While I say, first and foremost, thank you so much, Paul Gorial from Top Shelf Liquor, for donating this bottle. I don't know if the website's live yet, but Top Shelf is going to have a new online store called TS for Top Shelf, wineandspirits.com. So again, Paul, thank you for donating the bottle. And Lisett, what do you think on the nose? I'm getting a little sweet,
Got a little
vanilla.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth. So I do get a little bit of vanilla.
Okay, and the wind's picking up because winter is here.
Yeah.
As I say, winter is here. Man, it already wiped away. What's cool about this bottle is it's got a thermochromic ink that pulls out a lot of blue out of this label, and on the side it says winter is here when it's frozen. We're actually kind of low on this bottle already, so you can only read winter at the moment. But go ahead.
So to me, it definitely smells sweeter than it tastes. So you would think it would be a little bit more of the sweeter taste, but I'm just getting more of, Mike says, alcohol burn. So like, I'm getting that burn, especially at the tip of my mouth, or my tongue. Actually, my mouth too. So, but I'm not really getting any distinct flavors.
Right.
It's just more of like, here's an alcoholic drink. So it definitely smells better than it tastes. I mean, it's not bad flavor-wise. I would have it if it's absolutely the only thing around and you're offering me this whiskey, but it's not something I would just gravitate to. So it's not a fun flavor for me, if you will.
I'm with you on that. This has a very distinct alcohol harshness to it. Yeah. This is actually bottled at 41.7% alcohol. Most Johnnie Walker stuff, with the exception of green, is bottled at 40%. That 1.7% shouldn't be enough that I feel an alcohol harshness, considering that I drink cask strength whiskeys quite often. This just seems to me like an inexpensive blend. I've tried it at another tasting event, and my initial response was it's just barely above Red Label. Some people have told me they liked it better than black. Those people, I think, are just crazy.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
But taste is subjective. Yeah. I'm just teasing, but for me, it smells decent, but it definitely has a distinct alcohol harshness that doesn't make this one very enjoyable. I think this would be best for a blended mixed cocktail or something to that effect, right? But if I'm going to just give it a score based on flavor, actually, I want you to give it a score so I'm not influencing you.
Based on flavor alone, I mean, it does have more of a burn, which I don't mind. Obviously, I mean, you have to know that when you're drinking whiskey, you're going to have a little bit of a burn. It's not going to be like drinking juice, but flavor-wise, it's kind of bland for me. Like, all I'm getting is the burn, so it's not exciting, so I'm going to give it a 4. You know, it's something that's It's alright. It's not bad, but it's not good.
I'm going a little lower. I'm going like 3.3. I'm not liking this one at all. Going to now try it chilled. So this is how the distiller intended it to be served. It says to enjoy it chilled. It is chill filtered. They're really playing into the White Walker.
Oh, I feel the cold already.
Even the Johnnie Walker, the Walking Man.
Mm-hmm.
You see, he's wearing the
yeah,
white's armor. So it's actually a really cool bottle.
It is.
The bottle alone is worth picking up because you can use it for other things like your own infinity bottle blend and stuff like that. It is a cool bottle. It retails somewhere in the ballpark of around $40. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan and you really just want to get the whole collection, which I'll get into in a second, then it might be worth it on that. For me, I'm not sold on the flavor yet.
Yeah.
We'll see if the chill does it for me.
Definitely, I don't smell anything now.
It's funny, yeah, it definitely takes away the smell, which most people know. You typically would freeze a whiskey that you're not enjoying, something that you're just trying to hide the flavors of. So we'll see, does this one hide flavors or does it actually pull it out? She's shaking her head. I think she likes it.
It's definitely much better. It's so weird that just chilling it gives it flavor. Because now the alcohol burn is still a little bit there, not as intense as it was neat. It's a little bit smoother now, and I'm tasting more sweetness, like pineapple right now. So it's a nice mellow sweet flavor with a little bit of burn and a little afterkick on the tip of your tongue. So it's a good good mellow one that's good for beginners, I think.
She's not wrong. When you chill it, it does bring out a lot of sweet flavors, which I just said. Most people normally chill their whiskeys to hide flavors or just to kind of try pounding it down, if you will. Maybe the distillers knew what the hell they were doing when they said that this is best served chilled, and maybe they really did make a blend that pulls out flavor notes when it's cold, because this became sweeter. There is no nose. I can't pull out any distinct scents out of this while it's chilled, but flavor-wise, it definitely became a lot sweeter.
Like caramel, pineapple, vanilla, so it's like a little bit in the ballpark of that I taste with that little burn on the tip of your tongue. So I like it. It's way better than neat.
I'm not getting any of the alcohol burn that I got while it was room temperature. But let's score it. What do you got for the chill?
So definitely way better than it was neat at room temperature.
For sure.
So I think we're gonna go with, since it's a little bit, it's kind of like a watered down version. That's what it tastes like, but it's still a good flavor. But I would like a little bit more kick, so I'm gonna go with a 7.5 on this one.
It's actually a pretty decent score. I'm surprised. I like it a lot more as well. I think this is going to be the trend today. I'm going a little lower than her, but I like this a lot better chilled than I did while it was room temperature. I'm going to give it a 6.1. We're going to dilute it down now. So while I dilute it down, if you've tried this whiskey before and have an opinion of it, leave it down in the comment section right now. We want to hear from you. What do you think of this whiskey? While the surface tension is now being broken up, we're going to
have it diluted.
Dilute it down.
Make sure that I don't have your special cup.
What? This is my I earned this Whiskey Warrior award. I drink out of this
one. Make sure that
one.
I don't steal his special cup over there. I want a special cup.
So, while Lisett noses it and tries to decipher it, I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the other ones that are coming out. So this is the first of the Game of Thrones whiskeys that are out already. There's going to be another 8 different whiskeys that are coming out. I believe this might be the only blend out of all of them. The other ones are represented by Talisker, Cardhu, Clynellish, Dalwhinnie, Oban, which is going to represent the Night Watch, and Lagavulin. I am excited. And Royal Lochnagar is the last one.
Nice. It's like Christmas to you.
I'm nerding out over those because most of those I'm already a huge fan of the distillery. Talisker is one of my favorites. Lagavulin's up there as one of my favorites. I'm excited to try these single malts that are coming out, and then I complete my collection with the Game of Thrones stuff at the same time. Each one of those whiskeys represent a different house family. Cool. So there's the House Lannister, the House Stark, Tyrell.
It almost feels as if you're about to arrive at the point.
I'm sure each one will have like a special theme on the bottle. Right?
Nerding out. I don't know.
Cool.
There's not a whole lot of information. We're hearing that the first ones might be released as early as November, so hopefully we can get on that and review it soon because I can't wait for the
Yeah.
Lagavulin especially.
That's pretty cool.
But what did you think?
I smelled a little bit more caramel this way.
Okay.
So when it was chilled, I really didn't smell anything, but this way I kind of smell a little bit more caramel. Flavor-wise, it just kind of toned down the chilled version. So it still has like a sweet taste, but it mellowed it down even more. So now it's just watered down, so it's kind of more boring.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's way better than neat, I think.
I agree.
So it's not just alcohol burn and no flavor at all. So I think I'm gonna give it 6.5.
Wow, way higher than I expected. So I agree with her. Maybe it's because it's still chilled, which we both preferred. We both preferred it chilled. So maybe the dilution, because of it being chilled,
That's true.
still comes out better than neat at room temperature. So it seems like this one has to be enjoyed chilled, as the distiller intended.
It has a good theme to it. So
I think it's way better than it was neat. Huh.
it's just more mellowed down. It's more of like, this is your absolute first and your very like weak sauce. So this is something that you can like ease your way into the whiskey train. So I think it's a very good, could be like for a mom that doesn't drink, you know?
Well, I'm gonna score it a 5. I don't truly enjoy it, but I think it tastes better than room temperature neat. So
For sure.
so far we're not doing too bad. I mean, it's a $40 bottle, so it's a little pricey.
Yeah.
You can get some really good stuff for $40. So if you're a completionist and you just want the collection, if you want to grab our ice for. All right, so the last way that we're going to do our tasting now is over ice. We always use 3 ice cubes because we try to keep it scientific. We've
It's science.
done it 3 ice cubes since the beginning. The only fair way of assessing is to keep it the same way. The only difference is this is already chilled still. So, a little for you and a little for me. We'll see what we think on the last one. So, you're not going to smell much on this one. It's already chilled. It's
Don't
in a
even
rocks
bother?
glass.
Yeah.
You're not going to smell much
Yeah,
other
no.
than ice. So while she drinks and figures out what she likes about it, I'm just going to read off a couple of comments because you guys told us in our Glenlivet video that you liked when we read off some of your comments. So Vince Starcher said, "Great videos, keep it up. I enjoy you guys reading the trolls and the positive fans too." Mike definitely enjoys the trolls, so that's why we read a lot more of those on that one video. But
I love both.
thanks, guys. We definitely appreciate that. Liquid Reppins, not being a whiskey drinker at all lately, I like these videos. I'm a beer guy. He says, yeah, I'm a wuss. And you're not a wuss for liking beer. You know, you just got to change your flavor profiles if you want to drink some whiskeys, and that's hopefully what we help you do.
I'm not a beer
But-
girl, so I'm with you.
Says, I enjoy these videos because I feel they are educational. Thanks, because that's what we were hoping for. And last bottle he bought was Crown Royal, which gave him headaches. He's going to keep, which he was asking about whiskey suggestions. So he's like, I'm going to keep watching your other videos and then make a choice as to what his next purchase is. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much, Liquid Reppins. I think I answered you off camera or in the comment section about some of the ones to start off with. But we're getting a lot of feedback, people saying what are some good beginners, like some of the bottles that should be in my beginner collection. So we might do a video on that coming up soon. Last one I will say is Malton in Montreal. My boy Swami, I mentioned that Rabbit Hole is my new favorite dessert whiskey. He said, oh yeah, by the way, our picture and sound are perfect now.
Nice.
Thanks to done, so thanks. But the Glendronach 21 Parliament, which I've never seen, so I'm going to have to
You don't
look
have
for that
that?
one. I've never even heard of that one, so I'm
okay.
going to look for it.
Interesting.
But now, what do you think of the one on ice?
I think it's more mellow now. So now, since you were mentioning that you want to create a list for beginners, I think this would be a good choice right now because if you drink it not neat, it's a good choice for beginners. So this is just kind of like watered down pineapple soda. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Huh. You said that about the Balvenie when we did it on ice.
So it's like when a soda doesn't have any fizz to it. That's
Okay.
what this is. I mean, it has a good, a little mellow, sweet flavor to it, but and not a kick to it. So I mean, it's not bad. So I mean, I would have this like if I'm having something with dinner, you know, I don't want to have like
Right.
a big burn when I'm eating my food. So it's not bad, but it's not exciting. So I would give it, I don't know, 4.5, 5.
Wow. All right. So you actually went a little lower than I thought because I don't do this very often, but I actually like this one on the rocks. I think this is it's almost as if this whiskey was intended to be drank cold on the rocks. They did a good job with what their purpose was, because this might be one of the first times I ever score it fairly high, comparatively speaking to the other scores I gave it. But I think this is like a 5.6. I mean, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a good taste. I just feel like it's too mellow now. So it's good chilled, but it's not good when
And
it's watered
some
down or
people
added
like that
something.
mellowness.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have something mellow, drink soda. You know, don't go for the whiskey then.
So, as we said, this is a really cool bottle. It's got the thermochromic ink that changes when it's cold. We've been outside, so all the hidden messages went away by now. It might be worth it just for the Game of Thrones fan. Might be worth it for someone that just wants a really cool bottle at around $40 or so.
I think it's cool.
I still say that my preference would be Johnnie Walker Black. I like that more than this one, but it's definitely better than red.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good beginner whiskey, but definitely don't have it neat. I would suggest that. If you're going to have this one, don't have it neat because it just doesn't bring out the flavors.
At room temperature.
At room temperature, yes.
It was actually the best
Neat,
chilled out of the
Yes.
freezer. That was the best
Yes.
from both of us. So make sure if you're going to do it, don't drink it at room temperature like most whiskeys.
Yeah.
This one is intended to be chilled. Do it chilled. It tastes way better that way, which is baffling to me. If you're still watching the video by now, please hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're a new viewer to us. Hit the little bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos as we produce. We normally send out at least 2 videos a week. Lisett, aka Wonder Woman, was my special guest today.
Thank you guys for having me and being patient with me.
Do you have an outro for us?
Drink your whiskey, watch our videos. So, I mean, can't get better than this. Look at this cactus behind me. That's my cactus, by the way.
We might be just the best whiskey review channel that has a Peruvian apple cactus behind us as our backdrop. And since Mike's not here, we gotta do it. Chopsticks!